In this season of Easter, we have this movement that happens over and over again. This movement from a position of being closed in on ourselves, being kind of locked in a room, to a position of openness, of going out, of breaking through. We see this in many different ways. Jesus, of course, breaks out of the tomb where he's locked in death, breaks out and goes and shares the good news of salvation, that the gates of heaven have been opened. We see this with the apostles who are locking themselves in the upper room because they're afraid. But they break out of that upper room and go and proclaim the good news of the resurrected Christ. We see this in our gospel today as the sheep are being led out into greener pastures, into a place where the voice of the shepherd is calling them. Over and over again, we have this movement from being locked in to a place of breaking out into freedom, into this new life that God has prepared for us. And we ought to move out in such a way where it shows that we're excited, where we're enthusiastic, full of joy that God has called us to this new place. You know, I remember a long, long time ago when I was in a parish far, far away. I won't mention the name, but it rhymes with Holy Rosary. I was living with Father Bernie, and he was planting some vegetables in the backyard, particularly some tomatoes. And these those squirrels, they kept getting to his tomatoes, and they would eat them before he could pluck them off the vine. And so he set some traps in the backyard. Not death traps, nothing vicious. Just some live traps, which is probably illegal. But anyway, he set these traps in the backyard, and one morning he went out and saw that there was a squirrel in the trap. And so he put the cage with the squirrel in his truck, and he drove out into the middle of nowhere. And when he got there, he opened the door to the cage. And that squirrel shot out of there so fast he wouldn't believe it. It ran and ran and ran. It didn't stop to look back to see if anybody was chasing it. It just kept running and running and running until he couldn't see it anymore. Friends, this is the experience of Easter. Running from the cage of sin, running from being locked up in death, running to celebrate this new life that God is offering to us. But we're always running to something. We're not just running from something, but we're running to something to share the good news of what has happened to us. And today it is such a gift that we can gather with these young boys and girls as they, for the first time, receive Jesus into their lives. You know, this gift of the Eucharist is not meant for us to keep locked up. You know, we receive Jesus into ourselves in his body and blood in the form of bread and wine. But that gift of the presence of Christ, his body, blood, soul, and divinity, that gift is not meant for us to keep locked up in our own bodies. It's not a gift that we ought to lock up in our own minds and in our own hearts. That gift, boys and girls, this is very important. That gift that is given to you today is a gift that is meant to be shared. It is a gift that can't fully be appreciated for what it is unless it is shared with those around you. And so you are called today not only to receive this precious body and blood of our Lord, but to go out and to share this gift with all those who need to hear it. You now are the witnesses of the presence of Christ in the world. If people need to know if Jesus is present in our world, they will look to you, which is a big responsibility. Your job is to show that Christ is present in this world. So I want to make sure that you're ready to accept this responsibility. So I want to ask you to stand, boys and girls, if you would please stand. Yeah, we didn't practice this. This is okay. Sorry, just those who are receiving first. Okay, I need you to raise your right hand. your right hand. Here we go. This is very serious. I need you to repeat after me. Okay? I will love my brothers and sisters. And you can do it with a little bit more force, okay? It's okay. I will respect my parents. Okay, we're getting there, but a little stronger. I will care for those who are in need. Okay, the big finish. I will show the presence of Christ to the world. Very good. Thank you so much. You can have a seat. Now, everybody else, you thought you got out of this. I want everybody else to stand up. Now, I would ask you to raise your right hand, please. And please repeat after me. I will help these young people. To love their brothers and sisters. To care for those in need. To show the presence of Christ in the world. Thank you. This is so important for us. You can stay standing. This is so important for us because these young people cannot do it on their own. Individually, we cannot do it on our own. We need one another to be united in the body and blood of Christ, to be witnesses in this world today. So young people, I'd ask you to stand once again. Everyone else remain standing. At this time, we're going to renew our baptismal promises as a reminder of what it is that we promise to do because of the faith that has been handed on to us.